What golden nugget of information do you have to share? A scorpion can hold its breath for 6 days, so don't think drowning it will help you out of your scorpion problem. So I flooded my house for no reason? Fuck. Just keep flooding it continuously for 7 days. And on the 7th day, God finally managed to drown that fucking scorpion. Even if you aren't willing to give mouth to mouth on an unconscious person, chest compressions alone greatly increase their odds of survival. If bees were paid the minimum wage, a jar of honey would cost about $200,000. For a garment to be labeled, "Made in USA," the process only needs to be started and finished in America. In the case of a certain ladies' underwear line, the material is cut in USA, shipped overseas for assembly, then shipped back to America where a seamstress sews a "Made in USA" tag on the item. Source: underwear factory worker. It's crazy how it's cheaper to send clothing across the world to be assembled than it is to just do it domestically. A moose can run 40 miles per hour through 6-foot deep snow. The first president of Zimbabwe was President Banana. When choking on food and can't get help, you can get into a push-up position and then just drop down. The ground hitting your stomach and chest will cause what you're choking on to dislodge. I had a heart transplant 5 years ago. When your heart is replaced, the surgeon has to cut the main nerve that gets the signal from the brain to beat, and or increase the intensity of the beat. Without this vagus nerve, your new heart has no regulation and pumps blood out of habit. You no longer have a fight or flight response, and your new heart beats at 90+ beats a minute. That is terrifying. So if you get nervous, your heart doesn't race? Right. I have no internal regulation over my heart rate. My new heart beats purely from muscle memory. I can't think about it for too long because it's just too freaky. Absolutely terrifying. It is, but honestly, the no control thing is close to the bottom of concerns when having a heart transplant. My big worry was, how long will I live post-transplant? And the answer is an average of 13 years. In that average, there are people who died on the table and people who lived 30+ years. My father had a heart transplant at 65 and lived 20 years with it. Died of unrelated issue, the heart was still good. You've got this. Go enjoy your life. Goldfish lose their color if they are kept in dim light, or are placed in a body of running water, such as a stream. The main reason we stop doing something we love is because we forget our love of doing it for enjoyment's sake, and replace it with the desire to be good at it. You've inspired me. I should go tune up my guitar and get back to playing. I enjoyed it, I was decent, and I should enjoy being decent at it rather than good or great. There are about 60,000 characters in the Mandarin language. A very literate person will know 20,000. The average person from 5,000 to 10,000. If uneducated, around 3,000. I don't know any, so I guess I'm fucking stupid. I met a German girl who had studied Mandarin in university. She said she knew about 6,000 characters, which was about enough for her to read the newspaper. Which one? The German paper. Horses have a massive blind spot on the front and back of their body. If you are ever around a tame horse, keep a hand on their body while walking around them. This lets it know where you are at all times and decreases chances of kicking out of shock or fear. This also prevents them from kicking you with as much force. You need to stay very close to them for the full benefit. This is similar with goats, as they instinctively fight things coming head-on and should be approached from the sides. Also, ears are the gateway to a horse's feelings. Pinned back ears indicates an anxious or angered horse. Pinned straight up indicates curiosity and focus. Artillery was responsible for over 70% of combat casualties in both world wars. The Earth wobbles really slowly like a spinning top. It takes about 26,000 years to come full circle. In the process, the northern star changes. This is called precession. If you see a job you really want but aren't quite qualified for, apply anyway. Don't tell yourself no, make them tell you no. You might be pleasantly surprised. Both my son and daughter followed this advice and got a job that turned into a career. As a manager who hires people, yes, apply for everything you're reasonably competent for, even if you can't check all the boxes. Most of what I look for is experience and practical application of knowledge, skills, and tools. Even so, I am aware that many aspects can be taught easily and quickly. We're also looking for general intelligence and character, good mindset and work ethic. I manage the engineering department at my company. Even people applying for design, manufacturing, QC, or whatever we happen to be looking for generally are not applying with the specific degree. There's a ton of overlap. Heck, what I even went to school for, I barely used, not have really been hired on specially for. If you ever have a baseball bat and need to use it as a weapon, put a sock over it so if someone tries to disarm you, they just slide off the sock. If you carry a baseball bat in your vehicle for self-defense, also carry a baseball glove, even if you don't play baseball. Your lawyer will appreciate it. The gray rock treatment is an incredibly useful method of dealing with narcissists and toxic people. If such a person is going at you verbally or behaviorally, screaming or posturing or trying to fight, become like a gray rock in a river. No reaction, don't answer, no movement, just sit calmly and let the stream of crazy flow past you. Bonus points if you can stare blankly. When people thrive on causing a reaction, they absolutely cannot compute when they get no reaction. If you're in physical danger, obviously react to keep yourself safe, but don't argue, explain, or defend verbally. You'll never change a narcissist's mind, it's just walking on a treadmill. People often underestimate how big a billion actually is. An easy way to conceptualize it is to think of it in terms of seconds. 1 million seconds ago was 12 days ago. 1 billion seconds ago was 1987. What's the difference between 1 million and 1 billion? About a billion. On the timeline of human history, the ancient Egyptians lived as close to the ancient Romans as the ancient Romans live to us today. The reason that they did not teach about the Aztec Empire for Oxford's first few hundred years was twofold. The Americas had not been discovered, and the Aztec Empire had not been founded. That's the exact same reason the local junior college doesn't have the Mars colony in their curriculum yet. A single spaghetti noodle is called a spaghetto. I thought a spaghetto was a place where poor Italians lived. Caterpillars are physically unable to burp. Thank fuck for that, can you imagine? I don't know, dude, I think the world would be a much better place if caterpillars could burp. A 30-minute walk every day decreases the percent of you getting dementia. I keep meaning to do that but always forget. Newly registered nurse working on a hematology ward and learned that stem cells smell like sweet corn. If you're in the woods and smell cucumbers, there is a copperhead snake nest nearby. Copperheads plant more cucumbers than all other species of snakes combined. Heat the back of a spoon gently and press it on a mosquito bite for a few seconds to greatly reduce itching. The heat breaks up the protein in the venom. Edit. As this got traction, you only need to warm it up under warm water. Whilst a third-degree burn with a red-hot spoon does, technically, work, I wouldn't advise it. Armadillos give birth to 4 identical twins always. Peanuts are not nuts, they're legumes and they grow out of the ground like potatoes. Nuts and drupes typically grow on trees and/or are the seeds of fruits. You can be allergic to tree nuts and not be to peanuts and vice versa. That a strong sense of doom is a medically recognized and majority common precursor to having a heart attack. Here I am waiting for my heart attack for the 8th year. It's not exclusive to a heart attack by any means. A sense of impending doom is the incredibly vague but best way for your body to tell you something is very wrong. As a paramedic, we take it seriously. If a patient with a serious condition looks me in the eye and tells me, "I think I'm gonna die," I've found that they are right a disturbingly large amount of the time. Don't buy French bulldogs. They're a fad breed that was sick to begin with, and so many people are being scammed by backyard breeders and puppy farms they're depressingly broken. If you do buy one, even from an official breeder, be prepared for allergies, ocular bleeding from eye pressure, hip dysplasia, cheery eye, trachea collapse, twisted spine, and dreadful breathing problems. They are expensive. Too many teen girls buy them and can't afford the allergy meds and food and just leave them to suffer. One visited the clinic last week, collapsed and died because of an extra long walk in the sunshines. Don't do it. Let this breed disappear and buy a dog with a nose, please. In the 16th century, Turkish women could initiate a divorce if their husbands didn't pour coffee for them. Canadians say sorry so much that an act passed in 2009 states that an apology would not be considered admission to guilt. Manhattan's layout is largely grid-based except for Broadway, which runs at a diagonal through the city and ignores the grid. This is because before the rest of Manhattan was developed and was mostly farmland and open fields, this is the route the cows took out to pasture, and its continued use over the years by people and cows meant it was simply left in as the city developed. Broadway exists because cows look people in the eye, say please and thank you. Salespeople will go out of their way for you if you show appreciation. Domestic cats don't meow to communicate with other cats. They use meows almost exclusively to communicate with humans. My cat also meows at my dog though. It's 100 times better to break up when you're in a shit relationship than trying to fix it up for the nth time. In Germany we have a saying that would translate to, it's better to have it end in terror instead of having terror without end. What golden nugget of information do you have to share? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.